You're on, Pops.
Oh, welcome to the Ivan Files, folks. Yeah, we were gone for, about a month, but we're back. And
Couple weeks.
every 2 weeks, we're going to be here talking about stuff that pertains to us and to you.
That's right.
And today, I've got a couple of things there, some lower ones.
Okay.
Um,
It's under the X's.
Under the X's.
yeah.
Nice. It's a little
Yeah.
separator.
That's a separator
Yeah,
of the blog log
Yeah, that
or the pod log.
Podlog. Welcome to the podlog.
I look very
the
awake.
shape of government
Uh-huh.
as we see it now, and is it ethical or not?
Oh boy.
What do you think?
The shape of government. Is it ever ethical?
I don't know. What do you think?
Man, that's a tough one.
Uh-huh.
Is it ethical?
I guess I would ask you what you mean by the shape of government.
Well, it's moving. It's a moving feast, if you will, and the shape of it is that Mr. Trump is firing a whole lot of people
Yeah.
up there of bureaucrats, but some that are perhaps necessary, like inspectors. He fired a whole bunch of them. And,
Right.
And so that's what I'm saying. The shape of government is it's mobile, it's moving, and also the finding of people who are here illegally, so to speak, and sending them back and separating parents from children in this process. Is that ethical or
I don't think you can put the word
what is he
ethical.
doing? What is he
government
doing?
in the
Is
same
it
sense.
ethical?
Yeah, I mean, I think that government is a really hard thing to label as ethical or non-ethical because
Yeah.
there's always somebody in the system that's being taken advantage of. But I think that's also the structure of human society in general, right? I mean, there's always going to be somebody at the bottom who's just learning or just starting that's going to look up to the person on top who is in control of the system and feel that that's ethically not ethically okay, right? In this scenario with Trump, him sending immigrants home and firing people that have basically been remote workers just because they've been remote workers, like that definitely gives you pause. But I think that at the end of the day, like Trump is trying to change the government structure, and in doing so, he's going to break a few eggs to make the omelet. And we knew this was coming, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when he came in and said, hey, we're going to start a whole Department of Efficiency, which has just been made official, like in the last 10 days or whatever it's been, they're going to make a lot of people mad too. Because what's happened is we've elected individuals to argue and lobby on our behalf, the citizens. And in doing so, they've leveraged relationships to put tax dollars to work in our community. Well, if you're going to cut the government back, as Trump proposes he's going to do, those programs and those services that we, the citizens, have become accustomed to are going to be cut back or completely done away with.
Yeah.
And that is going to be met with a lot of criticism and
Yeah.
a lot of people that feel like they're under attack.
I think that it's interesting that there's a lot of programs out there that we pay for, right? That I would say quite a few people that really support Trump aren't aware that they're really going to be
Yeah,
heavily
they're benefiting from.
yeah, or they're going to be heavily impacted when he takes them away. The Republican platform, I'll have that for the next blog and read it. It really is a great platform. The actual Republican platform in itself is a less government,
Right.
platform. And it has been so skewed over the years and so manipulated over the years by these power hungry people that have been in office for years and years and years that I mean really I mean
Yeah.
some of these people have been in there 20, 30 years. That you're not
Yeah.
having a fresh perspective
Term
anymore.
limits.
And
Yeah.
term limits are the only way all of this stuff that he's doing are going to have any tread. And until we get the first problem solved, which is term limits, it doesn't matter what he does, it's just gonna come back and it's gonna be the whole swing. But why I'm saying that is, I'm actually shocked with some of the stuff he's doing that I agree with. And not very much of it, but some of it I do agree with. And, you know, the media this morning, for example, was trying to paint the picture of this man that was arrested that's an illegal alien because he has a 5-year-old daughter here. I feel very bad for that 5-year-old daughter, and it's our responsibility to help her now, and maybe that's where we transition the funds, is these children that are left behind could possibly have even a better life if we put the funds towards that. But the man is a criminal. He does not belong in our country, and he's an illegal alien. And the media was trying to really soften that and make it look like this poor little 5-year-old girl is going to be left without a daddy that's a criminal, by the way. And so I hope that this taking these illegal aliens out that have committed crimes, that's what I think we have to be very cautious of stating when the media even says, oh, they're just going to come into your house when you're baking bread and you're not papered and take you. That ain't where we're at right now. It could go there, and that would be really sad. But what they're doing is they're taking out criminals, people that have a criminal record, people that have come into the country and broken the law, that they really don't abide by because they are not citizens. So, you know, I'm hoping that we, just like in Washington State, Ferguson, and again, you know, I don't know how that's going to go. He may be too much of a bleeding heart. Just has redirected, and he did an executive order for the children that are left here when illegals are taken away. Then we are going to handle those children. And because I'll do some more research on this, but I believe that when they came over on the boats, you know, the only people that really cannot say they're an immigrant here are the indigenous people. Everybody else is definitely an immigrant, definitely. I think they came through Ellis Island and signed a book,
Yeah.
and that's how they got in. Now, I don't know if there was a test that they had to take after that, but once they signed that book, because Mark and I went there, you can go see that. We didn't get to see the book because it was closed for renovation, but I'm curious to go see where my family came over.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And they just came over on the boat and signed a book and started working.
Well, I know my grandparents did.
Yeah, the Lepards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, it's interesting. I you know, as far as shaping, how is it ethical and shape? You know what? Until we fix the main problem, in my opinion only, and that is term limits, it doesn't really matter what gets done. Because you get sedentary. No matter if you say you don't or not, you get sedentary. We've seen it in our business. We see it when somebody's been an event coordinator for 20 plus years. They get entrenched in yeah, well, we'll just do it this way because it's impossible not to get sedentary.
Yeah.
And government and sedentary don't belong together in the same word or sentence.
And most of the time it does.
And most of the time it does.
Most of the time it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So term limits, they really have to focus on that.
Yeah, AOC was trending recently because one of the tweets that she put into the world is it's not just the Republican representatives and senators that are playing the stock market, it's also the Democrats.
Absolutely.
And like for her being, I don't even know what you want to call her, like an up and coming Democratic star on the Dem side specifically, like for her to say like we're the problem too was very like forward thinking in my opinion. It's like yeah, I mean no one should be taking money at the top, and that's exactly what's happening. And I think that's like the scary part and the speculation that's happening with this new cabinet and this new leadership is that when you watch the inauguration, you have some of the biggest tech billionaires in the country
Yeah.
standing behind him. And there is influence there. And I don't know that that's like net negative, right? I think there's good there that like these entrepreneurial minds are in the seat trying to make the country run more efficiently. But at the same time, there's always going to be people that are suspect because each person has their own individual motivations for being there. And it's not always for the best of the people. It can sometimes be self-aggrandizing.
Yeah. It's a capitalist point of view, and I thought that the president, for instance, had to divest himself of all interest so that would not play in the things that he chose to do or not do, and apparently not. I don't know. Maybe there's another way, I suppose there is, to get, like, for instance, get the stock market up high and cash out, and then folks at the rest of the country goes flat.
Well, look, the way that a stock
Well,
market,
the crypto meme coin thing was not a
Not-
good look.
no.
So if that's any indication on where we're going, that's
Yeah.
really scary.
We can have a financial crisis, is what I also hear. But the news is often biased one way or the other, so you don't get a level look at it.
Right.
And in Plato's Republic, a long time ago, the Greeks, one of the propositions was that governmental people ought to be raised, trained, and not victim of the ups and downs of financial stuff. Of course, the Greeks didn't have much financial stuff, but that the bureaucrats, what we call bureaucrats, would be, in fact, trained people that had no interest whatsoever in the capitalist markets, whatever they were at that time, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was his idea in the Republic. That's what I came across, and that was some of my early education in those books. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. The shape of government will continue to be kind of like an amoeba.
you know,
It changes as it moves against things and so on, and against the people. I'll tell you one thing though, I don't think he's going to mess with Social Security.
Is that right?
Well,
that would be a big mistake.
there's a huge, probably the largest lobby there is, and AARP and so on, that if he starts to reduce any of that stuff by his signing these papers or whatever, he's going to get it. It's not going to happen.
Mark and I were talking on the way back from our drive on Thursday, and it was really interesting. In fact, I'm going to get one for the house. The Constitution. We were actually just reading the Constitution, and it's not very large. It's a pretty small document, and it has very basic guidelines that can be
Okay.
manipulated and used towards either side of the argument, whichever one you want. But the 14th Amendment
Yeah.
is it's very clearly one of the original lines
Yeah.
in the Constitution, And it's quite honestly difficult to understand that that is even being suggested or challenged. Instead of saying, okay, well, that's, now, J.D. Vance was on Sunday morning.
Oh,
Interesting interview with him. And to his point, he made it, he said, look, we're trying to say that people that are not going to be here permanently and come here and have a child and their child can stay here. That's different than somebody that is here permanently, even illegally permanently. But you can't decipher between the two. Heather was born in Germany on German soil, but because she wasn't born on a military base, she had German citizenship, actually, dual citizenship. So it's not an uncommon thing when you're born of the land to be, that's your history.
yeah.
So to pluck you out of that, it feels super icky.
Well, and wasn't that one of the pushes at the top was to do away with that?
Yeah.
People born in this country would no longer
That
be
is
citizens.
and
Yeah.
it goes directly against the Constitution.
Yeah.
And then to look at, can a president go against the Constitution in an executive order? And the answer is no. However, what's next is, can they amend the 14th Amendment?
Well,
And the answer is yes.
they can, but it takes, how many states, 2/3?
Sounds right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to ratify it,
Mhm.
to make it a law.
So
And,
it'll be interesting to see how this thing shakes out.
It
yeah,
will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
it will. And it's interesting to see if it's just a flash in the pan, or if it's going to continue to be in the news cycle.
Yeah.
Because he's been in the office for, 10 days?
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's done 350 consecutive orders,
Yeah.
or executive orders. And I wonder sometimes if a couple of them that he's done, that he knows are against the Constitution, are to put light on those. And we all better be looking at what the other 349 are.
Yeah.
So I've had some really conflicting feelings about TikTok, and I know that's not like what we're discussing today, but essentially, like, the government said this should be banned collectively, with both parties agreeing to
Yep.
getting rid of this application, and then 12 hours later,
Yep.
an executive order was signed to extend that app still be able to be used in the United States.
Huh.
And that gives me concern because you have the majority of the people in leadership roles saying one thing and then one guy coming in and saying, no, we're doing it this way. And that lack of checks and balances is really worrisome to me.
Yeah.
It is worrisome.
Yeah.
It is
That's right.
worrisome.
Yeah.
And what it does is it diverts the time spent. That's the thing. This is for 75 days, this TikTok thing.
Yeah.
And what it is diverting, or what it is doing, it is diverting the energy and the time spent on things that actually can change and benefit our country. And instead, we're putting these big things out there that's taking everybody's talking about this, instead of talking about what we really need to be talking about. Look, we are overspending in this country.
Yeah.
We are. And what is this, this new China thing, this speedy,
The
Panama
app.
Canal.
the app, yeah.
Oh, the app is that what you're talking
The
about?
app, yeah.
Yeah.
Deep
So they're deep
Yeah.
sea. There's always going to be something to divert us.
Yeah.
And I am concerned deeply about the amount of diversions there are right now.
Uh-huh.
Because that tells me that what the government should be doing ain't getting done. Again, still.
Well, in the Washington Examiner, they had Mr. Thune up there as a leader of the Senate, and he's going to show that the Republicans can, after all, govern this country, and it'll be interesting to see what he does. He's the leadership of the Senate, and who's the House? You know? No, yeah.
I should know these things. I need to
Yeah.
get more educated
Yeah.
about them. But
But there's also going to be challenges to what, some of the stuff he does, and it's going to go right on up to the Supreme Court.
mhm.
And the Supreme Court will have to
Follow the law.
say yes or no, and yeah, that's right. They're there to uphold the Constitution, and
Can a Supreme Court be removed
what?
if they don't uphold? Do you
Oh,
know if because,
only with a revolution?
oh boy.
Yeah. The Supreme,
Annie, get your guns.
yeah, that's right. The Supreme Court can't be. They're in for life, or as long as they want to be. That is, and if somebody try to remove the remove the Supreme Court, yeah, there's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
Big trouble.
Yeah.
But you know, there's some folks that say that the country was on the brink of a revolution,
Mhm.
and if Trump hadn't been elected, we'd probably be in the middle of a revolution.
I mean, there's a chance. I mean, there's still a
Yeah.
chance. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. I think like this
Yeah.
country is still a tinderbox, and
Yeah.
like the stuff that I'm seeing going around now is like, how come our grocery prices haven't gone down in the last
Oh,
10 days?
yeah.
Because people, you drink the Kool-Aid, and it's not that easy. You can't just like
Yeah.
reduce grocery prices tomorrow. It's a
Yeah.
process. It's an economic strategy that you're going to have to implement over a period of time.
Yeah.
So people
Like,
are going to be
Trump's
upset.
first thing is going to be there's an egg crisis.
$15 a dozen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Wes said.
Yeah, well,
what?
It's, you can't get them at Costco right now, I'll tell you that.
$11 a dozen in Denver, I think, is what the post I
Yeah.
saw yesterday.
We need more chickens.
We got
Chickens.
eggs. We're
More
good.
chickens.
We
You
got eggs.
You're
Yes,
set.
sir. The
Yeah.
way, very good. Yeah, we're getting
We got
free.
eggs.
I will say, like, with the inauguration last week, it does feel like there's an energy in this country that is positive, that will
I
be
would
net
agree.
positive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're going to go in, we're going to change it, it's going to hurt, but at the end of the day, it's going to be good. And I think that's kind of, I wouldn't say it's universally accepted, because there's definitely people still freaking out, but
Oh, yeah.
you got to hope that this
Reporters,
energy is net positive for the country. You
Yeah.
have to hope.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you
to.
lose faith. So
Yeah.
let's cross our fingers, hope things work out for the best, and see how this thing evolves.
Absolutely.
I haven't been out I mean, I've been out a lot, but I haven't seen much of the Trumpism around in talk as much publicly. And maybe that's because those that are Trumpers got their way or whatever, but I haven't seen a lot of aggressive communication going back and forth with citizens. And I'm appreciative of that. I have seen some disappointing things on social media, just because I do our social media, of people that I love very deeply, and they've said things on social media that make me look at them a little differently.
Yeah.
I will never let them know that, but maybe that's how it's supposed to work, is, we can draw our opinions, not judgment, but opinions about the way somebody handles something, and moving forward, be more cautious with that individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the reporters, you have to kind of take with a grain of salt when they're telling you what the news really is.
Mhm.
It's,
Yeah.
that hasn't changed at all.
Mhm.
They're still trying to knock him down. But he's not easily knocked down.
No.
Like this JFK and all that stuff.
Did that come out?
It hasn't come out yet, I don't believe. I could be
There's a lot
wrong.
of buzz about it.
There's a
right
lot
now,
of
though.
buzz about it
Yeah.
right now, and
Junior, yeah.
and there's SNL's having a blast right now with all kinds of stuff. Oh my God,
You need to
SNL is
watch that.
better than
Yeah,
it's ever
I haven't
been.
been keeping
Oh
up on
my
it.
God. But like there was one where they were in the news and it was like, breaking news: Trump to exchange Connecticut for Italy. That kind of stuff, right? So they're really taking the extreme comedic side of it, which I appreciate, because we have to laugh at this when it comes down to it. But back in the day when they developed the Constitution and there was knockdown dragouts with these people. These people also had slaves, right? So the
The
shaping
loyalists
of the
and-
government. I mean, yeah,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've come a long way, but man, it's only been 80 years since Auschwitz, so that we ain't come that far yet.
My sister
but-
told me that they changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America on Google Maps yesterday.
Yes, that was on the news this morning.
Okay, that did happen.
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool.
Is it?
Be the change.
Yeah,
Be the change you wanna see.
Well, we just change mountains names depending on the whatever.
That's right.
Again, a deflection to put our energy towards stuff that really doesn't matter. To the body of the water is going to be the body of the water. It's
Yeah.
just whatever we name it. It's laughing at us, going, I don't give a shit what you call me.
And the
I'm gonna
hurricane
drown all
stuff
y'all
come,
one of
you
these
know.
days.
Yeah.
But
Oh man.
all right, that was a good blog. Let's
was
save
good.
these for next time because these are totally different things. Let's talk more about that psychic energy and the unseen things of consequence.
Yeah,
That's a whole
Touched
podcast.
a little bit of that though.
yeah. There's a, what is psychic energy? And that's an unseen thing that we can talk about, and its effect on people, and mostly people, and it can work either way, you know, and we all have it, but in greater or lesser amounts or degrees, and there's ways to increase it. And I was trying to get another copy of that book for you.
Psychic
uh,
energy.
Yeah, and it's unavailable right now.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Joseph J. Weed. Is that the same guy that writes Mystic?
yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the mystic knowledge of the mystic
Mystic Masters.
Mystic Masters. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. His stuff is hard to find. I tried to find the other book you gave me on audiobook and can't find it anywhere.
Where? What book?
Masters of the Mystic Minds.
Yeah.
Masters? Yeah. I can't find it on audiobook. I tried to buy it and I couldn't
Oh.
find it.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's on paperback. though.
Yeah.
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 You can get it there.
I'm about halfway through, but I knew that I would consume it quicker if I could consume it
Listen
in
to
both
it.
mediums.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was interesting that I couldn't find it on audiobook. It seems like
Yeah.
a
He's a
huh.
much of his stuff is he's a Rosicrucian, and he talks a lot about that. But he also tries to show you some stuff that it could benefit. Could benefit you, and it includes psychic energy in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But let's see, I was going to say something about that, and forgot it. Anyway, the other unseen things that we talk about are like telepathy, clairvoyance. We talk about ghosts. We talk about spirits and what people talk about that way. And those are not hard things you can put your hands on. You know, it's just
Connection?
connection.
What connects you to one human?
Huh?
Why do you feel about one human the way you do differently about another?
Oh boy.
What connects you to a human? What
It's
is
the
that?
wrong time to ask me that
Yeah.
because I'm doing interviews right now.
Uh-huh.
It's all gut. I'm just like, I don't think so, and I
Uh-huh.
can't say I don't know why. I just
Yeah.
Follow your gut.
yeah. The
Yeah.
answer's no. Sorry.
Yeah.
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 Why? I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't know.
Just
yeah.
aren't feeling it.
Yeah.
To give you an idea of how others think about it is, I looked it up. I looked his name up. He passed away in '78, and he also wrote with Bibb, Benjamin Bibb, that book of healing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll show that to you too. But anyway, it listed a bunch of stuff I got about him, and the one said a scientific kook.
Oh,
Rude.
that is a little rude, actually.
Rude.
Well, and there's a professor in talking about various things that are somewhat mystic, somewhat spiritual, claim to be, various organizations and things like that. And he says, may be true, it may not be true. And Idris Shaw, in one of his tapes, said, you pay your $50 and and you go with what you get.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Which is a whole different thing too. That's a Sufi thing anyway. So,
All right.
are we done today?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we'll come back and talk a little bit more about human connection and psychic energy, unless we get caught up in politics, because I'm going to bring something.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, this shape of government can be a continuing thing for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lord knows it will be.
Yeah, and it'll be emergent as a thing we want to talk about, that is, that people want to hear about, and things that we can perhaps add to this
Awesome.
Yeah.
list.
No.
All right.
Cool.
Tip
So-
your hat.
Tune in.
Till
Tune
next
in.
time.
Yeah.
Send him an email. What's your email?
I don't know.
theivan1933@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's it.
1933. Heck of a year.
Yeah.
Heck of a year.